So, we didn't talk about this earlier in the morning, but we had some really bad news for the Montreal Canadiens. No, it's not their record, no, it's not their power play, although those things you can say are quite bad as well. We had this update, posted earlier in the morning, talking about Kirby Dach, and how he is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. He got a fractured foot. And here's the problem with Kirby Dach. All the injuries that he has sustained, they all come from a variety of ways. It's like, oh, he awkwardly hit somebody at the World Juniors. Oh, he got himself a bad hit and he's in the bench or whatever. Oh, this time he blocked a shot. That's it. He blocked a shot. There was some noticeable discomfort in the way he was moving after that. But now he's out for at least a month, almost 2 months, with the foot injury here. So, hey, you thought the Montreal Canadiens center core was already vulnerable? You thought Nick Suzuki was already playing hurt? Well, Kirby Dach is out. Oliver Kapanen is going to have to be really thrusted in there. He's going to be a top dude. You're going to have to force Josh Waugh, who was called up today, to be an amazing player. I mean, this is the reality of being a Montreal Canadiens fan, right? You can't have nice things. Never. That's the point of being a fan of this hockey team. They're just that team. And look at me going out there and talking about that team when my favorite team is the Vancouver Canucks, and they don't have any sort of health going on in their organization at the moment. Things are tough. So, yeah. I don't know. Montreal, pretty rough spot, I'd say. You know what else has been rough in Montreal as of late? I'd say it's the goaltending. Jakub Dobeš is no longer the undefeated goaltender that he was at the beginning of the season. And look, we knew that was going to happen at some point. He wasn't going to stay undefeated forever. It was kind of a shock for a lot of Canadiens fans to see Dobeš cry in the media after his first loss. But then things kind of got worse when he let in all those goals against the Dallas Stars. 600-something save percentage is absolutely not going to cut it in the National Hockey League. But then again, it's like, yeah, that was a bad game. What are you going to do? It was a weird, odd game in that it was sort of a bounce back for Slafkovsky after the game against LA, but they still lost 7-0, and Dobeš let in 5 goals, and it was totally weird. The Montreal Canadiens have not found ways to win consistently as of late. And even though Jakub Dobeš got removed from the crease after New Jersey and after Dallas, it's not particularly like the goaltending has been amazing from Samuel Montembeault either. You see, Monty had a really difficult time to open up this season, and I think a lot of Canadiens fans were harping on this guy so much, booing every time he would let in goals, and sarcastically cheering when he would make saves at the Bell Center. The attitude from Canadiens fans is quite indicative as to the sentiments towards this goalie at the moment. He's at an .858 save percentage in 11 games played and a .356 goals against. 4-5-1, so he's lost more than he has won. And the past few games have all been losses, with the following save percentages. .870 versus Boston, .667 versus Dallas, 6-7, .840 against LA, before a win last Saturday against Utah where he had a .926 save percentage there. Samuel Montembeault has been given the majority of the starts as of late, and I don't really know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just seems like they're forcing the main rotation back into the status quo here, where a lot of folks said, okay, it's going to be Montembeault and Dobeš. Montembeault and Dobeš. Monty's the starter, Dobeš the backup, that's it, right? But earlier on in the season, with the records working out the ways that they did, Dobeš going undefeated and Montembeault losing and not looking all too good, you kind of had that pseudo-quasi flip of the goaltenders. Folks saying Dobeš should be the main guy, that he should be given all the tough assignments, that he should be the starter, etc., etc. I think a lot of that really did change when the post-game interview against New Jersey came out, and a lot of folks really started to understand that, yeah, Dobeš is still a young guy. He's still maturing in this NHL, and maybe being a starter isn't all that it's cut out to be if he's expecting to go undefeated every single time, but, you know, we get it. He's an emotional guy. He wants to win. We're not going to take away from that anything against Montreal. It's just, hey, maybe he's not fully ready to be a full-time starter. That's okay. Now, when it comes to Samuel Montembeault, this is what David Pagnotta ended up saying about him on the Inside Sports show earlier in the week. And it's why we're diving into the entire trade update here, too. The Montreal Canadiens started to give a little bit more ice time to Samuel Montembeault. Is it trying to give him a little bit more control in the crease to show other teams that may look to a goaltending move? If Dobeš is playing well and Montembeault starts to increase his game, I'm very curious if the Montreal Canadiens are in a position to consider that type of a move. I'd also be curious if the Edmonton Oilers may want to go in that type of direction. So there you go. Montembeault to the Edmonton Oilers. Is that a possibility here? Now, I just wanted to show off that yes, Montembeault is at an .858 save percentage. That's not fantastic, and I think a lot of Oilers fans who would open up the conversation with those numbers could very easily step in here and say, wait a minute, why would we get Montembeault? Why is there a discussion on him? There are other goaltenders around the NHL and even the AHL whom you could say that we all have more faith in. Detroit's got two goaltenders that the Oilers have been linked to in Cam Talbot and Sebastian Cossa. You can talk about Devin Levi in Buffalo. You can talk about a whole bunch of names. UC Saros in Nashville is a lot more of a household name than Sammy Montembeault. This is all based off of the idea that Montembeault and Dobeš both improve their goaltending, and the Montreal Canadiens just get more saves. But if Montembeault is in a spot to get moved, you're going to have to really expect that Dobeš fixes everything up in his game the next few months here. He transforms into a guy who doesn't exhibit those rookie warts and is able to take losing up high, standing tall, is able to bounce back, is able to work on the things that make him so good in the first place, his reflexes, his positioning, his speed. Sammy Montembeault needs to improve as well in order for this to go down. He can't stay at an .858 and Edmonton's going to go out there and say, yeah, you're our guy. Come over here and you'll take us to the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, Stu Skinner did it, you could do it too. Obviously, I'd say that goaltending in Edmonton has been a problem. Stu Skinner is just not the answer here. Maybe he's a good, solid 1B backup caliber guy, but as the main force in net to bring you to another cup final, I think the first two times were the best you're going to get. It's not going to get any better. And now we're really starting to see that vulnerability in net because Cal Pickard is unplayable. I was about to say borderline low-key unplayable. No, he is unplayable. Sammy Montembeault, you can say, save percentages do not actually look good in his favor either, but at least Montembeault has been a starter in the past. So, yeah, things are very fragile, goaltending-wise, and I guess health-wise, too. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Kirby Dach injury, and how do you feel about this trade idea, which would send Montembeault to the Edmonton Oilers? I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.